Okay, so I don't really have a great spot to set my Luba up currently. I think I'm gonna have to set up an outdoor outlet somewhere else. This is next to my front door. I have a little patio area. Between the two pillars over here, I have an outlet, so I'm gonna run the cable just around the little pillar, and we'll set up the docking station. But in the long run, I probably don't want it parked out here in my patio. I'd like it to kind of hide in one of the flower beds, maybe set up some sort of space for it, but we're gonna put it here for now. But let's just get this assembled. Okay, so first off, we're gonna take this round unit that we had with the black and the white. There's a little rubber cap that pops off on one side, it sticks up further. And we're gonna take the antenna that we talked about earlier. Again, it's a little black rod, has like a triangular shape at the top, round at the bottom with some threads, and we're just gonna screw this in. All right, next we're going to grab the two black rods and this metal thing with sharp daggers to put it into the ground. Again, I don't have anywhere to stake this into the ground over here. We'll have to figure that out. But what you're gonna do is take the two big black pieces, this big knob at the end is gonna be the top, and these threads are only gonna fit into one spot on this tube, and screw these together. Okay, and then next we're going to screw these spikes to the bottom. The way to do this, at least the way I have it when it assembles, this has to get spun around so the threads stick up enough to go into the end. And then we're going to take off this rubber cap, because that is a third spike. You don't need this rubber cap, it's just for safety. And then next we're going to take this and just screw in the spike into the bottom. Next, we're going to take this long post here, and we're going to take our cap that we had earlier with this long cable, and if you look on this post, it's got a big hole cut out here. We're going to fish the cable, so take off the twisty tie first. Take the end of this cable, which is part of this big white cap, fish it through the top, and then pull it through this hole, like that. Pull this all the way through, and as we carefully pull it to the top, that is just going to lock in. There are little fins on the white part. On the tube, I don't know if you can see, there's a notch just on the one spot. So just on one spot. There's one fin that is larger than the rest, and you're just going to slide that on. It'll only fit on one way, it will not spin. Then move this little rubber cap out of the way for a second, and use this big nut here and tighten it down to hold this on. Next, we're going to open up the shrink-wrapped bag here, and you'll find a little baggie here with a few more screws and like a SIM card key. We'll set this aside. Also inside of this is going to be a little tiny Allen wrench. We'll set that aside. A bunch of plastic screws and anchors here, and one little stake. Also a plastic washer, which is the same color as the bolts and screws, and a black metal washer itself, as well as some clips here which we're going to use to secure the wire in a second, and a fake plastic Allen wrench. Alright, so I've moved over to the grass. You can see how to really install this. Again, putting on a pavement is not really going to work too well. Okay, so before you mount this, I know the directions say to mount it first. I tried it, had some issues. Flip it over. You're going to have this piece of plastic on here. Grab that arrow, peel it off. Pop the door open. I had it mounted down to the ground. I couldn't get the cable to pull. I don't want to break it. This piece here is stuck underneath. Even when I tried to unhook a few screws, I just couldn't get it to come. Pull all these out first. Pull them through the back door. Hang them out the side, and now we can go back and actually assemble this and mount it to the ground. We're going to take that metal washer with the little clip, and if you look on the back here, it's going to have a notch. Again, this will fit in, but you want that notch to fit where that little hole is. And then we'll take our stakes. So we're going to take one of the tines and put it through the hole here. I thought the center one would go through, but I don't think that's how it's set up. It looks like you just put one of these through and push down. Might need to step on it. And then next we're just going to take these yard kind of plastic screws with a plastic wrench and just tighten these in to hold this down. And you really got to force the wrench into the head of the screw to get it to even grip. And it looks like you're gonna have one extra screw here with the wrench. We'll go set these aside. And now we're gonna plug this in. So we're gonna have the big power pack with the outlet on one end and an orange connector on the other. And we're gonna have this bag of a ton of wire here. So let's undo this. This is really just your extension cord to your power source. So we're gonna undo the twisty tie. There's going to be two ends to this. We're gonna take the triangular one and we're gonna plug it in to the orange triangular end of the big box. Looks like it'll go in any way, except for there is a latch on the top, so only it does go in one way, I guess. Push it together. We're gonna plug this big box in the wall here in a second. Okay, so now on the back, you're gonna have two cables. One with a smooth round cable that matches the smooth round cable that is on the sensor. You're gonna take off, unscrew the cap on both sides, both of these smooth round black cables. And you're gonna look at it, which I don't know if you can see, it's got two holes and a notch on the female side. The male side has the two metal prongs and a notch on top. Make sure that notch aligns with that hole. Slide it together, it'll snap a little bit, and then screw down the ring so it tightens on. Again, it's the bigger ring, not the smaller one. Now your sensor's hooked up. Next, you're gonna have the black wire, which is two black cables side by side on the machine. You're gonna have the same exact cable style with two cables here on the unit that's gonna go to the wall. We're gonna unscrew the caps on these. Same process. Look at the male side. It's got three metal prongs with a notch on the top to align it. The female side is going to have three holes with the notch on top. Make sure you align those notches and the prongs correctly. Push it together. You should hear a little snap. And then on the female side, there's a bigger ring, and then tighten that up. So righty-tighty. And then next, we're just going to plug this into the wall. Again, this location is terrible. I will rewire another outlet somewhere else where the Luba can be in the yard with no cable. For the time being though, and for this video, I'm just gonna put it underneath the doormat. I'm also trying to get the box, the electrical, out of the sun as much as possible and hide it over here. All right, and one last thing on this, you're gonna tip the Luba up a little bit. You'll see there's a hole with two prongs. The unit comes with two of these orange plugs. These are the security keys. Plug one in the back. Just gently push it in. You get it locked in, push it a little firmer, and that is going to be it. Now, another option is installing a 4G SIM card. That was this little pack of screws with a SIM card, pop router tool, and this little tiny itty bitty Allen wrench. What you would do is you would unscrew the back here. Be careful not to lose these screws because I don't know if you can see, but they're itty bitty. You would then pop your SIM card into the slot here, and then you will screw this back on. Now this is optional. I am not doing this. I do not have a SIM card for the unit, but that is how you would install it if you were gonna put one on. Again, I don't know why they put on these itty bitty screws, but they work. And if you have this out and you are going to put the SIM card in, you have to use the SIM card tool. There's the bigger slot at the top. You push in, there's a little hole on the side of it. Push the little tool and it'll pop out a tray. Inside the tray you would put in here, I believe like a micro SIM card, like a little tiny one. Maybe it's full size. And then you just slide that tray back in and then screw that back on. Next, we're going to put the Luba here. Back it into its charging station and peel off this front sticker. Okay, so you can put it in front of it and you can hit the power button, and you hold that on, and then press the home button, and then press start, and it should back in. Or you can just do what I did, which is just set it into its charging dock. The light's green on top. It's too sunny out here, but if you shade the front sensor on top of that bumper, it is green as well. It is charging and ready to go now.